You've probably heard the phrase before, seatbelts save lives, but it seems a lot of Massachusetts people still need convincing. An observational study found the seatbelt usage rate in the state is just 78%. That's well below the national average of 90%. And as Tina Martin tells us, that has police stepping up and at least trying to crack down.
Framingham police officer Ken Blass is on the job.
Today we are going to go out and do some traffic enforcement.
He's looking for distracted drivers, texting or talking on the phone. But once he pulls them over, he's looking for something else.
I'll need your license and registration. We aren't able to pull over a violator for not wearing their seatbelt as a primary offense. However, any other offense, we would stop them.
He's checking for their seatbelt as part of the Click It or Ticket campaign. The campaign is paid for by the state and puts extra police on the road. Officer Blass says he hears all kinds of reasons for why people aren't buckled up.
A lot of people would say, I thought I had it on, or, I just took it off. Good morning.
We rode along with Officer Blass, and one of his first stops admitted she wasn't wearing her seatbelt.
Not a good reason, but I'm taking my dog to the vet, and I was reaching over to grab something. I unbuckled it, and I didn't put it back on.
Turns out she's not alone. A recent study done by UMass Safe indicates that Massachusetts ranked 45th in the country for seatbelt use. But the study also says seatbelt use in the state is at about 80%.
I do it every single time I get in the car. It's important. Too many accidents.
Safety, always. Always trying to be safe on the road.
Our hospital numbers show that about 60% of our patients are restrained drivers or wearing their seatbelts.
Dr. Stephanie Nitsky, a trauma surgeon at Brigham and Women's Hospital, says that's because of campaigns like Click It or Ticket. And of the other 40%, it's clear when they come into the ER.
They've clearly been thrown out of the vehicle or they've been tossed around with inside the vehicle. You can see that when they have lots of long bone fractures, rib fractures.
Dr. Nitsky sees less injuries with people wearing seatbelts and a shorter recovery time. If that's not enough incentive to buckle up, drivers get a $35 ticket on top of the initial offense. In this case, Officer Blass let this woman off with a warning, but she's still not convinced.
To be honest, it's very uncomfortable. It's just that simple.
It's not that simple. In any case, Tina, it's nice to see you. In this ride along, I know it's unscientific, how many people would you say roughly were not wearing seatbelts? I can't believe anybody doesn't wear a seatbelt.
Yeah, I'd say he pulled over maybe 7 and half of them no seatbelt.
That's unbelievable. I mean, well, it's not unbelievable. So I had forgotten until I was watching your piece that this is what's called a secondary enforcement thing, meaning even if you see somebody not wearing a seatbelt, you think you do, you can't stop them for that alone, even though it is putting their own lives at risk. Is there any move on Beacon Hill to change that, or is that ingrained in the landscape up there?
Yeah, not yet. There's nothing, there's no language so far that's been put forth to try to make that a primary offense so that if a police officer sees you with no seatbelt, they can pull you over.
How about the $35 thing? I mean, it's almost like you're saying to the members of the public, sure, don't wear your seatbelt. The odds are you're not going to get caught. And if you do, what's $35? Are they talking about changing that or no?
Yeah, Representative Jeff Roy out of Franklin is talking about increasing it to $50, and then anyone under 16 who's a passenger, $50 per person, but some people think that that's still too low.
50 is not enough. One last thing that aggravates me about this, not your reporting, but the whole situation. So the doctor at Brigham's acknowledged in there that, your injuries are less serious if you're wearing a seatbelt. So what would she or you say to the dopes who say, well, I can get injured even if I am wearing a seatbelt? What's their response to that?
Well, the doctor said, she was pretty clear. She's like, you can either have one injury, maybe a hip injury because you're wearing your seatbelt, or you can have multiple injuries because you don't wear it.
I'll settle for the hip injury and wear the seatbelt. Tina, thank you so much. I hope Beacon Hill is listening.